Welcome, everyone, to Exploring the Unsolved with Melissa, where we dig into some of the most perplexing true crime mysteries that refuse to give us answers. In today's episode, nestled amidst the rugged beauty of Cerramiento, Spain, a mystery lingers. A story of an unknown man discovered naked and alone, wrapped in a blanket by a creek. Who was he? January 9th, 2015, two hikers enjoying the serene trails outside Puerto de Somiedo stumbled upon a sight they will never forget. Lying beside a narrow creek was a lifeless body wrapped carefully in a vintage blanket. The man was naked and one leg was missing, later to be determined the result of scavenging animals. Local police quickly arrived, uncovering a perplexing puzzle. The man showed no signs of violence, no indication of a struggle. An autopsy revealed his cause of death was a heart attack. Yet the story didn't end there. The victim had a physical condition that was unusual and extremely rare, and one that should have made identification easy. But as we'll soon discover, the answers were anything but simple. The deceased man suffered from a mild case of Hawkins syndrome. Despite this, his hygiene and grooming were impeccable. His skin was well maintained, his beard neatly shaved. These details suggested that someone had cared for him, someone who remains as elusive as the man himself. And yet, despite these unique traits, no one recognized him. It was like this man never existed, or someone went to great lengths to ensure he disappeared without a trace. One of the few clues police had was the blanket he was wrapped in. Manufactured in the 1950s, it was traced to just two stores, in Gangino and Burgos. But decades old, purchases records had long since been destroyed. This blanket, like the man, refused to give up its secrets. Investigators turned their focus to the past, speculating that the man's birth may have been shrouded in secrecy. Spain, in the mid-20th century, was under the conservative dictatorship of Francisco Franco, a time when social pressures often led families to hide children with disabilities. Was he a secret hidden away for decades by his own family, or was he cared for in isolation, away from prying eyes? If his mother had been unwed, it would have brought great shame on the family, because the dictatorship had religious overtones. Despite their best efforts, police hit dead end after dead end. DNA from the unidentified man was submitted to every European database. No matches, no family came forward, and no missing person report aligned with his description. It was like he had slipped through the cracks of society entirely. And so, with no further leads, the man was buried in a local cemetery, beneath a blank tombstone, an unknown figure lost to time. Theory 1. Some speculate he was the hidden child of a family grappling with societal stigma. There were no birth records. Was his mother unwed? Did the cultural shame of having a special needs child lead to her hiding the pregnancy? Why was he still hard to identify? The case of the Man of Somiedo raises more questions than it answers. Who cared for him in life? Why did no one report him missing? Was his death the result of natural causes, Or did someone deliberately leave him by that creek, hoping he would never be found? Theory 2. Others wonder if his caretaker could no longer bear the burden and abandon him in the wilderness. But without new evidence, these remain just theories, ghosts in a shadow of a mystery. Now, as always, towards the end, my theory. My theory is that he was secretly cared for and loved. Someone took care of him, either his mother or family. When he died, they couldn't bear to explain why they hid him for so long. So they left him in an area in the hopes that someone would give him a proper burial. The Man of Somiedo reminds us of the fragile threads that connect us to the world. In life, he was cared for, but in death, he was forgotten. As his blank tombstone sits quietly in a local cemetery, one question remains: will we ever uncover the truth of who he was? Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you have any information about the Man of Somiedo or know someone who might, please contact the local authorities. And as always, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe.